From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, the Nenana Ice Classic has come to an end with the tripod finally moving downriver enough to trip the clock. The official time was 2:25 p.m. this afternoon.
Now, there were a lot of people keeping an eye on the tripod and participating in the annual Nenana Ice Watch Picnic today. The Nenana Native Council puts on the free feast every year so folks can enjoy watching the ice go out. The tripod had fallen over, but the clock had continued to tick until this afternoon. People pay $2.50 to guess the time the river will push the wooden tripod downstream far enough to stop the clock. Now, the jackpot is about $300,000 this year. This afternoon, before the ice went out, a few people commented about the tripod being stalled.
Well, it's puzzling us for the last 2 days. It's just sitting there.
The river is pretty much broken open. The Nenana over there is broken and it's flowing the water, so hopefully the ice will melt soon enough and get the tripod going.
Kind of different. It's done it before, moved just a little bit and then just sits there and waits. So it's not necessarily a strange thing, but it's hanging on a little longer than I think it did that other time.
Fort Wainwright was on high alert because of a suspicious package found on one of the post's roads today. The scare caused a temporary flight restriction for pilots flying near the area. The unknown package prompted Fort Wainwright officials to close Trainer Gate and the intersection of Gaffney Road and Meridian Road today. An explosive ordnance detachment was sent to investigate the package. In response, the Federal Aviation Administration put out a serious temporary flight restriction for local airports, limiting access near Fort Wainwright. Pilots who didn't follow directions could have faced criminal charges, revoked pilot licenses, or even getting shot down if they were deemed to be a security threat. The suspicious package turned out to be an empty box.
Take none of the situations like this lightly. Due to the specialized equipment used by the United States Army Alaska Explosive Ordnance Detachment, plus the proximity of Ladd Army Airfield, the Federal Aviation Administration placed a temporary flight restriction on Fort Wainwright.
The NOTAM has been canceled, and so anything that was listed in there is no longer valid. So the airspace is open, and we're operating normally again. This is an unusual notice for our airport to receive. In fact, it's the first one that we can remember ever receiving.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly voted on a pair of ordinances last night brought forward by Assemblyman Lance Roberts. Now, one failed while the other was heavily amended. Jamie Schwartzwald has more.
What we do need is more wood stoves changed out, and this provides us a lot of money for that.
Assemblyman Lance Roberts' ordinance sought to remove $300 fuel vouchers for the purchase of pellet or compressed pellet logs, as well as to repeal the voluntary burn cessation program. The idea was to allow the borough to funnel more money into the wood stove change-out program. The ordinance was amended to remove pellet vouchers but keep them in place for pellet logs. The voluntary burn ban language was also amended to repeal only the incentive portion of the program. Another amendment that passed was brought by Assemblyman John Davies to bolster the change-out program.
What it does is it says that you can replace 2 or 3 wood stoves if you go to essentially a fuel oil or natural gas or district heat system.
Those seeking the change-out would qualify for $4,000 per stove. The amended ordinance passed 9-0. Another Roberts measure sought to require Assembly approval prior to the borough filing non-routine litigation. Roberts cited a lack of communication between the mayor's office and the Assembly, saying he felt ambushed on prior litigation. The ordinance failed 3-6, with several members saying legal discussions should not always be held in a political forum.
I think legal decisions need to be based on the factual information and what's legal and not be any more political than necessary.
Okay, when we come back, 6 Fairbanks teens accused of armed robbery using a gun and baseball bat were indicted by a grand jury today.
Also, men will be walking around Pioneer Park tomorrow in some high heels to raise money for a good cause. We'll have more on these stories and more when we return. Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. A jury has ruled aggravators do not apply in the trial of Arvin Kangas. Kangas was found guilty on all charges of tampering with physical evidence in connection with the shooting deaths of 2 uniformed Alaska State Troopers inside his Tananal residence on May 1st of 2014. The jury is reportedly hung on deciding the aggravators on one of the 3 counts. Now, without them, Kangus's maximum jail sentence would be 6 years. Had the jury found him guilty with the aggravators, it could have increased the sentence to as much as 5 years on each count, which makes a total of 15 years jail time. Kangus's son, Nathaniel Kangus, who was accused of the murder of both Sergeant Scott Johnson and Trooper Gabe Rich, did not testify on his father's behalf. A trial for Nathaniel Kangus is scheduled for November.
A senior at the University of Alaska Fairbanks has been indicted by a Fairbanks grand jury. 23-year-old Nolan Youngman was indicted yesterday on charges of first and second-degree sexual assault. According to charging documents, Youngman sexually assaulted an unidentified victim on April 5th at the Cutler Apartments on campus. Youngman was also a member of the Nanook hockey team. He has since been banned from all UAF property and will now be arraigned in Fairbanks Superior Court.
6 teenagers accused of armed robbery have been indicted by a grand jury. Patrick Genter, Tyler Mullen, Cy Thomas, Antoine Arazo, Harley Tweet, and Kyle Brown all face charges of felony first-degree robbery and were also indicted on additional charges of second-degree felony assault, attempted burglary, and misconduct involving weapons. Court documents allege the 6 teens used a baseball bat and gun to rob a man of marijuana to take to Arctic Man earlier this month. A trial for their case was set for July.
One of 3 men accused in a string of armed robberies made a deal with the state this afternoon here in Fairbanks. 20-year-old Devin McMillan was facing 3 counts of armed robbery stemming from December. McMillan's co-defendants, who were military members at Fort Wainwright, allegedly attempted to rob multiple pedestrians at gunpoint. One of the defendants' dog tags was reportedly found at the scene. Today, McMillan pleaded guilty to second-degree theft. His 2-year sentence was suspended due to the, quote, assistance he is providing.
The State Senate Finance Committee continued work yesterday on finding ways to deal with the huge budget deficit being caused by $50 a barrel oil. The state budget director, Pat Pitney, told the committee that Governor Walker plans public meetings across the state to let Alaskans know how dire the problem is. Some committee members didn't think such meetings were a good idea. Senator Pete Kelly of Fairbanks said everything needs to be done out in the open for the public to see, but that a roadshow wasn't going to produce the kind of answers that they are looking for.
In this situation, I think we need to involve the public, but I don't think we need to do little voting machines and those kinds of things. You and I have been to those kinds of meetings. We pretty much kind of know what has to be done. We need to start doing it.
Will the public give us an answer? No. I'm not thinking the public will give us an answer. Will they give us permission? No. Will they know that what the situation all of us are facing? I do believe they will know the situation we're facing. That's the goal.
Men from across the interior will be strapping on stilettos this weekend to raise awareness for survivors of domestic violence. Walk a mile in her shoes as a march to stop rape, sexual assault, and gender violence throughout the interior. It will be taking place at 2 p.m. tomorrow at Pioneer Park. Most participants, men or women, wear high heels to get people talking about the serious topic in a fun way. The walk benefits the Interior Alaska Center for Nonviolent Living. Many organizations throughout the community will be taking part in the event, including the United Way, which will be teaching men how to walk properly in high heels. Miss Alaska International Shayla Silva will be there as well. She says the event is important because it helps bring attention to the highest rates of violence against women in Alaska.
To know those statistics, I feel it's my duty, not just as a survivor, but as an Alaskan, to really raise awareness. And in my title of Miss Alaska International, it is my hope to continue raising awareness and advocating and putting a voice to this pandemic, because it's not just Alaska, it's our entire world.
All right, just to clarify, guys, I think you can wear stilettos, wedges, platforms, pumps, you know. Anything that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Are you going to be participating?
No, I've spent many a year in high heels, so I'm giving it a rest this year.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, we're going to shift gears from high heels to sports. So 3 student athletes will be coming to UAF teams in the fall. Also, the Ice Dogs bring home some division awards.
That's right. Those stories and more with Joe Cook after the break.
Hello, Interior Alaska, TGIF. Joe Cook here with your Friday Sportscast. Some members of the Fairbanks Ice Dogs received some end-of-season Midwest Division awards. Chandler Marjorie won the Midwest MVP and Forward of the Year honors. Marjorie finished second overall in the league with 77 points, just 3 away from the top spot. The Minnesota State commit led the NAHL in assists with 55, which is 10 more than second place. Marjorie was the only Ice Dog on the All-West Division team. Another player won an All-League honor. First-year player Reiner Gorowski was selected to the All-NAHL Rookie Second Team. He was also a first-team Midwest Division All-Rookie Team pick. Gorowski has played both forward and defenseman for the Ice Dogs, generating 13 goals and 31 assists, 44 points, which is 5th highest on the team. Head coach Trevor Stewart won the Coach of the Year award, and Rob Proffitt won General Manager of the Year. The franchise itself won the Organization of the Year accolade for the Midwest Division. The NAHL League Awards will be announced this Monday. 3 athletes from the Lower 48 will be making their way to Fairbanks after signing national letters of intent. Today, the Alaska swim team announced that junior transfer Hannah White and Cassidy Kelly will join the Nooks. White is an Iowa Lakes Community College transfer. She helped Iowa Lakes reach 3rd place in the Junior College National Championships. She was top 4 in the 100 and 200 breaststroke and the 200 IM. Kelly comes in from Flagstaff High in Arizona. Kelly is a distance swimmer. She qualified for state the past 2 seasons. She specializes in the 500 freestyle. She holds school records in the 500, 1,000, and 1,650 freestyle races. And yesterday, the Natick men's basketball team added another forward to their recruiting class. Neil Chavez transfers from the College of Marin in California. The junior 6'4" forward averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And this team finished 26-4 last year. Neil joins 3 other JC transfers in the Natick's recruiting class. The Natick women's basketball team recently had their end-of-season banquet. One senior earned MVP honors. Senior point guard Benisa Bulaya played in all 28 games for the Nooks and led the team in points, assists, and steals. She was GNAC All-Honorable Mention her last year as a Nook. Sophomore Jordan Wilson was the Scholar Athlete of the Year, and newcomer Stephanie Toomson was named Most Improved. And after suffering a season-ending knee injury, junior guard Brianna Kirk was named Most Inspirational. The Nooks finished the year 14-14, which is their best record since 2005. High school soccer teams are on the road in Anchorage and the Valley this weekend. Here's some scores from the Thursday night games. The Lathrop girls tied Colony 2-2. The Knights scored twice in the last 10 minutes to get the tie. Helica Bryce scored both goals for the Mutes. Lathrop is still unbeaten. They're 10-0-4 since last season. Now the boys team, they were shut out by Colony. Ben Sandy scored a hat trick for the Knights and they win 3-0. North Pole, they pummeled Palmer for the sweep. The girls team won 10-0. Kylie Erickson had 4 goals and Lindsay Damel added a hat trick in the win. The Patriot boys squad, they won 4-0 with Taylor DeAngelis getting a shutout. 4 Patriots scored in the second half to get the win. West Valley, they tied West Anchorage in the boys contest 1-1. Shane Gillette scored the equalizer for the Wolfpack, and the West Valley girls, they fell 2-0 to the Eagles, who broke a 0-0 tie in the second half. And we have some beautiful spring weather for this weekend. There's some outdoor sporting events you can enjoy. Catch the first interior high school baseball games of the season. Saturday at noon, Hutchinson and Allison are scheduled for a doubleheader at Marlin Field. Delta Junction, they will host North Pole at 1 o'clock. Also, the last track and field mini meet will be tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. at North Pole High School. And for the local runners, the Beach Bum 5K is at noon on Saturday. That starts at the Toku parking lot off of Farmers Loop Road. It's $10 and serves as a fundraiser for the UAF cross country team. And starting at 2 o'clock in Pioneer Park is the 6th annual Run for Relief 5K. That's $20, and the first 300, hey, you get a t-shirt. This run is in partnership with the Friends of Partners.com, which is helping raise funds for refugees and internally displaced people of Burma. And now we close out the Friday Sportscast with the play of the week. The votes were counted from our social media outlets and WebCenter11.com poll. This week's top play comes from the team captain of the Lathrop boys soccer team, senior forward Braden Hoppo. Was able to find the angle after battling through 2 North Pole defenders and scores his first goal of the season in the second half against the Patriots last Friday night. His goal gave the Mutes a 2-0 lead. The Patriots, they would tie the game at 2-2. But your votes made his goal the play of the week. To vote for the next play of the week, watch for the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Friday night edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather. And it was another beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, no clouds to be seen anywhere. And temperatures will continue to warm on the way through the weekend. We could be looking at 60-degree temperatures by Sunday. More about that in just a little bit. What's going on as far as our photograph for tonight? This is a nice one sent in by Nancy Hummel. She and her husband were in the Denali Park area not too long ago. She's been able to capture a couple of caribou there, and a very nice animal shot there. And as always, if you have any shots you want to send, animals or scenery, whatever, send it to photos at ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Your numbers look like this right now: 55 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get up to close to 60 before we go call it a night tonight. And the low last night was 28. Record high 67 in 1940. What a day that was. 10 below in 1948. Your sunrise and sunset, 16 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, a few showers to the north of the Fairbanks area, and a little bit of activity still moving across southwest part of the state. Maybe a few around the Kodiak region also, but nothing going on over southeast Alaska. In fact, on the map today, as you can see, we're not looking at much except a few very light sprinkles around the Ketchikan area. 56 degrees for the high there, 57 at Juneau. Elsewhere across the state, as you can see, a nice day in Anchorage, 50 degrees there. A little fog around Kodiak, 42 degrees, partly cloudy skies at Cold Bay. 39, how about that? Warming up nicely in Nome. 28 Barrow, and Fort Yukon at 48. Lower 48 weather, quite a bit to talk about tonight. First of all, we'll talk about a few showers hanging around the Los Angeles area, and maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the Seattle area. But all the weather today is happening across the deep south, and it's very violent. Many areas reporting heavy rain, baseball-sized hail, and isolated tornadoes, and it's all continuing because of on the jet stream and the radar you can see that strong jet, that southerly jet, moving all that moisture across, helping to bring those thunderstorms, and they're still continuing to move off the eastern slopes of the Rockies, and not much relief expected. As you can see here on the map, more severe activity expected on Saturday, widespread across the deep south, stretching up into the Ohio and the Missouri Valley. And the overall driving factor behind this is the jet stream. This time by early next week, it'll be moving a little bit further to the north, but still another area of low pressure developing across North Texas will continue to bring more severe weather. So this is the time of the year when it breaks out, and that's exactly what's going on. Well, back to Alaska, nothing nearly that severe. In the northern sections tomorrow, mostly sunny skies at Barrow, partly cloudy for Nome, scattered clouds at Fort Yukon. Now here in the interior, that's going to be some fantastic weather. As you can see, sunny skies for Fairbanks, Delta, and Healy, with temperatures close to 60 degrees for the Fairbanks area. Over the southeastern sections, maybe a stray shower around the Ketchikan area, otherwise partly cloudy skies for Juneau, 57 degrees. And as far as the southwest part of the state is concerned, showers for Cold Bay and Bethel. Rain likely for Kodiak, so that's probably the worst weather, because if you're heading down to the Anchorage area, looks like partly cloudy skies for Anchorage, cloudy skies for Valdez, and maybe a little light rain possible in the Homer region. Okay, time once again for our evening forecast. As you can see here, we're looking at the overnight low of 30 degrees, a beautiful evening with clear skies. And the forecast for tomorrow, another great day just like today, partly cloudy, even a little warmer, 57 degrees. And the extended forecast looking for Sunday right on through Thursday. Temperatures each day near 60 degrees, if not 60. Overnight lows will also be very comfortable. As you can see, the temperatures rising above the freezing mark for at least Monday night, and right around freezing the rest of the 5-day period, and no precipitation expected. So it's going to be a great weekend.
Let's do the happy dance for 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get those overnight lows up a little bit.
Yeah.
And a good opportunity for car washes this weekend, too. I think there are going to be a few out there.
Yeah. I definitely need to take that.
I was telling you that. I was aiming at you.
Because don't draw on my car if you see it parked.
It was just wash me. That's all.
We call your car the mud ball.
It's really bad.
I'm the dust bowl.
I could pay my son to wash it. $10.
Yeah.
Is that cheap?
That's pretty cheap.
I'm next. I'm bringing my car over. He's washing cars.
Okay. He'll make the money.
All right. He'll make money, and we'll say goodbye. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight in NBC Nightly News, Al-Qaeda linked terrorists maybe have been planning a Vatican attack against the Pope. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at Webster11.com.
And of course, don't forget about Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. What else are we on? Our breaking text. We're everywhere.
And news tomorrow.
And news tomorrow. I'll be filling in for Katie Looper. All right, well, I'm getting told to get out of here. So from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great weekend.
Good night.